everybody. Hello, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com. Welcome to Psychic Cafe. Friday, it's the weekend. Woo! How are you doing? Are you good? I'm very good today. I got 9.5 hours sleep. I'm feeling great. So, mini reads. Haven't got any booked in. If you want to book in while I'm live, you can do so on the link. I'll be popping it right now in the live chat. So yeah, one question readings can be about anything. Doesn't have to be about twin flames, but twin flames is what I'm going to be going on about for the rest of the time in here. Banging on about them as usual. Good relationships, you know, healthy relationships. Let's get into those and let's find out from the guides how to get into them. It's certainly not going to be by responding to those very, very good looking player types. Hey, Barbara. Anyway, let's do it. Just applying my hand cream and it's a bit wet and sticky. I'll get some cards out. So let's get some cards out. And as I said, if you want a mini read, one question reading, then book in for one of those at any point along the way and we'll do those for you. Hey Maria. Wonderful. You're feeling wonderful. Or is it wonderful I had 9.5 hours sleep? You know what? The guy next door has gone away. And it's him that wakes me up at 5:30 in the morning. He gets up super early and walks on the beach. So I do now too. I always see him on there. And he went away yesterday. And like, there's not been any noise next door. So I went out yesterday evening, had a look, and oh no, his curtains are wide open and it's all empty. Well, not empty. His stuff is in there, but yeah, he's not there. He's gone away. And I slept so good. Yeah, he disturbs me, usually. He's not loud. I mean, he's the quietest neighbour. He does yawn very loudly. And if you watch his sports, he swears a lot in Italian. Merdo, I hear a lot. He doesn't like when the electricity goes off. He swears a lot at that. But apart from that, he's quiet as can be. But even so, he wakes me up. So I'm feeling good, Barbara. How are you feeling? Tower. Da, da, da. Oh no, this is a warning. We're about to go through something. You're not going to like it. We're about to go through something and you're not going to like it. This is the kind of, out of the blue kind of a shock. Like seeing your person with someone else, that kind of thing. Where I'm just getting, it might not be what it seems. It might not be what it seems. Page of Swords. Don't forget what you've learned. You'll get through this. It might appear like everything's coming crashing down, but everything is not as it seems. Yeah, could be something upsetting here if you make it mean more than it actually is. It could be something and nothing, but it probably won't feel like that to you. Yikes, what? 3 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. This is like stay on plan, it's keep yourself stable kind of an energy. Stay on plan and keep yourself stable. So don't let it send you off. Don't let it change your plans. Don't let it send you off target. Don't let it cause you to change your approach. Now, if for some of you this might mean that your person could be with someone else, it feels to me like it's going to be short-lived or something like that. So don't let it cause you to react to them or blow things up or anything like that. Just stay on. There's a message, and I can't remember when it came up, but it was treating each other with respect, with love and respect, no matter what, is the way to go. It's the way to go. So don't lose your cool. Remain stable. Dreamed your front tooth came out last night. Aren't teeth about, well, teeth are about fears, aren't they? I heard that the teeth are about money. Fears about money. The sun, happiness. What about happiness? You know how we've been getting that the divine masculine is making big changes and all of that kind of thing, and going against stuff that's around them or what people are saying around them and all of that kind of stuff, kind of making a fresh start, but it might be a wobbly fresh start. They might just take a few wrong directions, that's all, and they'll learn. And I think this is something that we've all been through as well. No matter how direction purposeful we are, knowing-ish where we're headed, we do sometimes just like choose the wrong ones, or choose that wrong path, and we learn pretty quickly usually. So it feels something like that to me. The sun. Oh. King of Cups. There you go. There it is. Yeah. That's it. This is exactly what it is. This King of Cups is about who you let in, right? Being more discerning about who you let in. Nine of Swords, what a nightmare. They're choosing the wrong person. That's all it is, and they're going to get that lesson. You can let them get that lesson. You don't need to try and provide it for them, and you don't need to become the nightmare. So carry on just being happy, because I feel it feels exactly like it's either they get with somebody and it's the wrong person for them, or just around the wrong kind of friends or that kind of thing and getting into trouble. Whatever it is, it's something like that. And this is saying, don't let it knock you off your path. Remain on path. Carry on with your plans. Be respectful of them and let them go through their stuff. Remember, we're not getting codependent now. We're not their teacher or their mum. We don't need to help them through their lessons. They can do that all by themselves. We're not their keeper. They need to get good at getting through their own stuff. Okay, Book of Shadows Tarot. Let's get into Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, then what's going on each. Okay. Masculine. I might go back to exercising today. I went for a massage yesterday and it wrecked. My feet are a mess. I think it's because doing CrossFit and wearing trainers again. I've worked out barefoot for years now. I might get myself some of those barefoot zero trainers. Give that a go. My Adidas. I've had the same running shoes for a very long time. And Adidas, whatever they're called, Boost. And yeah, but it's not the same as having been barefoot and your toes spreading out properly. So I might start doing CrossFit barefoot, get some of those zero trainers, because it was my feet that were the worst. Used to be doing everything barefoot. So, Divine Masculine, the Eight of Earth, woodland creatures. Can't remember what that one's about. Eight of Earth. It's air creatures. I was wrong. The Eight of Earth asks you to reach higher, stretch farther, and dream bigger. Whatever it's you're attempting, it's not even close to what's potentially possible. Settling for less is what they're doing. Or not settling for less, it's like reaching lower because that's their comfort zone. That's what they're doing. They're not going for the challenging one, the one that's on a level with them. They're going for someone that's beneath them because that's comfortable. They're doubting themselves, that's why. So that's all it is. Just let them go through that. They'll be over it soon enough. The sixth of Earth. That's quite hard to say. Six of Earth, not sixth. Earthy. Six of Earth is trees and forest, moving from one place to another. This, whatever they're going through now, is helping them transition from one state to another state. Preparing them for what's to come. Something that they need to go through, rite of passage. Need to learn about it themselves. Think of it this way. Excuse me. Look at it this way. If they go through this lesson first, they're going to value you much more. Once they get to the point where they're reaching higher, and then they know that you're a level above, kind of thing. Seven of Man. Seven of Man. I'm losing my voice. Oh yeah, I had a sore throat yesterday. I woke up with a sore throat yesterday. Another reason not to, perhaps I won't go back to exercise today, just in case that is something. Exercise makes those things worse. Seven of Water is justice. A time of accounting. It's a time to consider our actions and measure them against our beliefs. We shall be living according to what we claim to be right. So, learning. Divine Masculine is learning. Meanwhile, I'm having minor explosions inside of me. One more. So they're going to learn from this. They're just taking a wrong turn, don't take it personally. The Ace of Earth. Oh my God, what's with me? Hiccups now. Hiccups now. The Ace of Earth contains the potential one could hope for. Everything that exists or can exist is in this ace. It's the seed of the universe. When this card shows up, it's a gift, a sign that you can make a lot with a very little. I might go and get myself a foot massage today. This afternoon after this. After this, and recording the dailies and the pick a card, editing that. Okay. Divine Feminine. Three of Water. Just trying to get rid of my hiccups. Three of Water. For the Divine Feminine. Straight away, a very different card. Oh my God. Creation, fertility. Three of Water denotes a happy time of plenty. There's not just enough, but more than enough. Enough to put by for a rainy day. Having something set aside gives a sense of security that makes the present even more enjoyable. Appreciating what you've got right now. Okay. So it seems that the Divine Feminine is doing good right now. Because we've got the happiness there and we've got the Three of Water. Oh my God, what's up with me? Not them. Divine Feminine. It's not them. Okay, Divine Feminine, Mother of Fire. Nice. Mother of Fire. The Mother of Fire She nurtures the gift of fire within your life and helps it grow. Tending the fire. So she's all about the passion right now, her passions, enjoying life, enjoying what she likes and all of that kind of stuff. So staying in your own lane, keep on with your own plans, all of that kind of stuff. Don't let this derail you. Don't let what they're going through and the lessons that they're learning derail you. The Six of Fire. Six of Fire is Saturn. It brings a conservative, serious energy. Situations must be reviewed and analysed and decisions made with calculating precision. For what happens now will determine future trends. Much can be won, but not without a cost. Right? So things can be derailed at the moment if you have a reaction to what's going on. As I said, I was getting, from that tarot, I was getting, you're not going to like this, but all is not what it seems. Don't make it mean more than it is. It's just a lesson. The God. Divine Masculine. And don't forget, Divine Masculines need to become Divine Masculines through the lessons that they get. They've got to be working through things, right? So let's not deny them that. The Miserables. Divine Masculine. Divine Masculine. Four of Swords. There's an ant doing laps of the top of my Mac. It's going back and forth and back and forth. Well, now it's going down the side. Four of Swords in the Miserables. There's always work to do. Things will always need attention. Problems forever seek solutions. Luckily, this woman has learned that sometimes the best ideas come when she takes a break. Relaxing her mind allows her to connect with the divine and enjoy the moment of calm and prepare for inspiration. A respite from troubles. Interesting. So he's having a bit of a break. Reaching lower, having a bit of a break. The Emperor. Divine Masculine energy. It's taking charge of things as well, being in control. So as I said, sometimes I think we're all susceptible to this, but perhaps men a little bit more, to the ego, to reaching lower. Because how many times do we see it? We see men going for the trophy kind of thing. So they don't really get the match, but they get the trade instead. And they reach lower. Their ego likes it to reach lower. To be the one in control, the daddy kind of thing, the one that is in control. The one that's not challenged by a partner, but the one that can dictate to a partner, you know? We're all susceptible to that. It happens every time we reach lower. It happens every time we reach lower in relationships. Whether that's someone that's not at our level. No, pretty much that. Six of Pentacles. That's the reciprocity, but let's see in this deck. Wow, my voice is really bugging me today. I did notice before I went live as well, when Chicken Cat came in. She's still out there. She sat outside of the door for ages. When she came in, I couldn't speak properly to her for a little conversation that we had this morning. It seems that nobody has everything they want, so deciding how to use the resources you have is important. Decisions are not always clear, and divine guidance may feel absent. Trust the universe and make your decision. So they feel like they can't have everything that they want, and so they settle, really. They reach lower. Right. not convinced. Divine masculine. Different. 5 of chalices. That's not looking good. 5 of cups. Things did not work out as they'd hoped. Expectations were not realised. It happens. Okay, so it's not going to go as the planning. That much is evident. We all get those lessons eventually. Anyway, divine feminine. Divine feminine now. Divine feminine. Judgment. Decisions. I mean, like a trophy wife or something like that. Just someone that is looking good to be by their side rather than someone that's the true match. You know, you get like powerful, intelligent men with dumb, pretty, younger women, that kind of thing. So just not at their level, not choosing a match. It's the ego that goes for it. Kind of be buoyed by someone else because they've got something that you've not got. Yeah, but they've not got what you've got. We're all susceptible to it, you know. If you reach lower at all, that's what you're doing. You know, that's what codependency is really. It's like, oh, I'll go with someone that I can help. Why? Why do you have to be in control? Why do you have to be the one that is at the top of that relationship? It's the same thing. It's ego. Judgment. If we ask, the divine will answer. The key, though, is not only asking, but also listening. After posing the question, keep your spirit calm enough to hear the response. Actively seek it, look forward to its arrival, and by all means prepare to act on it, for it will undoubtedly change your life. So, if you're being triggered by everything that's going on, or what's about to go on, if this is your reading, then I think this is saying, like, if you're not sure what to do, meditate and listen for the deeper message in all of it. It could be that it comes to you that, like, they're not ready for you until they've been through this lesson, so that they're not messing around and with stuff like that anymore. Or, you know, they get that lesson that they need to be with someone that is their level, kind of thing. But meditate, and you will get that deeper meaning, the deeper reason behind it. The Wheel of Fortune. Major arcanas for the divine feminine. Wheel of Fortune. The wheel knows that she's in continual motion. The external expression of her experience is always changing. This too shall pass. At the center, in the depths of her heart, she finds enough stability not to be upset or alarmed by the changes in life. There you go. Good for you. That's what I was getting. It's like, don't be alarmed by this because it's going to pass. It's not what it seems. It's going to pass. They learn a lesson. Yeah, they get bored. You get bored of those people. We all do. It's like codependency. We're like, this isn't for me. It's not enough for me. I need them to step up. It's like, well, you should have chosen someone that's already stepped up in the first place. We get it eventually. We do. We can't be in those imbalanced relationships. So once they've been through that and once they realize I need to be with someone of my level, that's when they're going to love and respect you more and realize your value as an equal. Because it's all good. You know, it's like being in a relationship with someone that adores you. Like, I'm careful of that now. Like I told you on Wednesday, there's that guy I had a walk with on the beach, and I just can't do it. He's a nice guy and he seemed to adore me. I don't want that. I don't want a fan like that. I know, like the ego's like, oh yeah, this is nice at first, but I've listened to my ego and I've been in those relationships before, and I get very easily bored by them guys because I'm not a fan of them. It's hard to really respect someone who is fangirling you like that when it's, it's just out of balance. So we get those lessons in the end. We figure it out in the end. It's nice at first, and your ego goes, yeah, I'm the man. But they get bored. We'll get bored fast. Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords energy comes out every single time for Divine Feminine now, because she's ready. She's ready to get going. Let's see what it says in the book. Oh, not very much. The Knight of Swords wields the power of her mind and the knowledge of language to achieve her goal. It's not that. It's just that she's ready to get going. The Knight of Swords energy is, come on, let's go. Let's get this. Come on, let's do this kind of energy. She's ready for movement. Movement is happening, but it's lessons. Movement for the Divine Masculine. And the Hierophant. The Hierophant is about teaching, learning, teaching. Wow. Major Arcana. Yeah, it's not a balance if they're head over heels. Unless you are too. The teacher understands the theory behind things. She also knows that moving from theory to practical application is not always a smooth translation. She helps others understand not only the whys and wherefores of a subject, but she also helps them apply knowledge to their everyday lives in ways that make for them. Well, makes sense for them, I think that was meant to say. Well, I think I would say really refrain from telling them what it is that they're doing, even if you can see it. But I think when they come out of it, or when they start complaining about the problems of it, you might want to say, yeah, well, that happens if you choose beneath you or something like that, and I told you so kind of thing. But not like that, you just might want to impart some words of wisdom. I think this is down the line, not while it's going on. You don't need to take on their lessons for them or teach them along that way. But if they are in a situation that is beneath them and they are starting to say, oh, they're getting me down or something like that, and you might be able to pinpoint it a little bit better for them to show them the way, let's put it that way. So I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't think that they were ever your equal. I didn't seem to be your equal, that person. Something like that. Something like that. But I'll be very careful of that because generally we don't need to get involved. Generally it's not a good idea to get involved. Not with anyone. I mean, not with anyone's lessons. Not with anyone's lessons. Unless it's like your work, and you've got people coming to you and asking you. It's probably better not to tell your brother or your sister or your friend or whatever about, even if you can see it, because unsolicited advice like that, even if it's right and even if it's helpful, it's generally not helpful in the moment. And sometimes that's hard, isn't it? I know. It's hard. I used to be the one that blabbed all the time. Help everyone. That's what I thought I was doing. Help everyone, just tell them. Unsolicited advice, though. I really refrain from it now, I've got a friend that's going through a lot, and sometimes I'll say something, but most of the time I'm holding myself back. The sometimes that I say something is just and it's very carefully chosen what I say. It's generally what I say is not what she's going through, but I'll just tell her, when I was in a similar spot to you, this is what I did. That's what I'll say. But I'm very careful about not doing that really lately. Keeping it to myself. We're not the teachers all the time. And it's just, yeah, there's a time and a place for it. And generally it's not. What's the part you don't get? What's the part you don't get, Barbara? I was in a relationship, this was many years ago. And it was very easy for me because he was like head over heels for me. He was nowhere near my equal. Nowhere near my equal. But it was very easy for me because I hardly had to invest anything in it at all because he was investing everything. It was just that into me that I hardly had to do anything. I look back now and I'm embarrassed because I feel like I took advantage of him, but he was willing. I just kept on letting him do it. And yeah, I regret that now. And he said to me, once I finally stopped it all, that he would never speak to me again. Of course he did, because he'd invested so much. I didn't ask him to, and I wasn't investing that much, but he had, and so he was very resentful when I ended it, because he felt like he deserved something back. And I think we've all been him before, maybe not that to that extent, but we've all overinvested in relationships and then felt very resentful at the end of it. Keep the teachings to yourself. Yeah. Oh yeah, he did it. He did it. His fault. But we, like, when we've been there, we don't get that, do we? We think that they should have loved us back, that they should have invested back, and we feel, whenever we've ever given like that, we feel resentful after it. No matter what it is. Overgive at work, overgive family, anything, any situation. We think that we're being altruistic at the time and we're just loving and we're just, being a good person or whatever. But then the resentment hits us when we don't get back from it. And that means it was loaded. That means it was never altruistic in the first place. We were never giving and expecting nothing in return. It shows imbalance. We should never be in balance. Like religions say about this altruism and unconditional love and all of that kind of thing. But if you actually do it, it's so fucked up. We should be going for balance. Like it never ends well, apart from with the little children. Do it with the little children for sure. But with adults, no, don't do it. Don't do it. We should always be going for balance. And I don't know about you, but I see that lesson in me over and over again, pretty much everything. If it's not about self-love, it's about balance. Those two things are it. It's like, what's the lesson here? What's the deeper lesson here? Balance or self-love. Every single time it can always be brought back to that. See extremes all over the place now, like in the world of fitness. There's people going, you should just do cardio, and then there's other people going, no, you should don't do cardio, don't do it at all because it's going to mess up your gains, just do resistance training. It's like, what are you guys being so extreme about? The balance is where it's at, always has been. Same with diet too, you've got like the vegans going, don't eat animals, just eat vegetables, and then you've got all the carnivores going, don't eat vegetables, just eat animals. And they're in the middle going, why are you being so extreme? Just be the balance. It's all important. Balance is where it's at. Always, 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 always. Always. The lesson is always balance. It's like, it's with anything, we have these roller coasters. We're going opposite extremes, right? So you see it all over the internet now. All over, people doing these extremist things. Well, it's black and white kind of thing. If it's not black, it's white. It's like just, I'll do the opposite. It's like, balance. Balance is where it's at. Yep. But my point with the roller coaster is we do it internally. we do it on the path to love too. We meet people who have a bad experience, our emotions are down there. Well, I'm going to do the opposite of that then. We do the opposite of that. And then we're like, we're on this roller coaster all the time. And if we just find that middle space, we remain constant. We can remain constant. Not constant. Things will happen, but it's not going to be that roller coaster of extremes. And when you see people on the roller coaster of extremes, it's like they have to go through it themselves rather than teach them. It's like they've got to go boing, 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 boing until they realize, oh, I could actually do this instead. Temperance, that's what temperance is about. Let's get some more cards out. So sometimes we can say things that help plant that seed in someone's mind. We had that come up, didn't we? Was it last week? Whereas women, sometimes we have to do that. We have to lead the man to thinking that they've got something. But we could say something that just gets those wheels, those thingies clicking. I had a conversation with this guy, God, it was a long time ago, in Australia. He was telling me all of this stuff. He was telling me his plans. His plans was to be a hippie and do all of this thing, and he had this plan, I can't remember what it was. It would have been like, get some land and you know, live off the grid and all of that kind of stuff. You want to do that? It's like, yeah, but I've not got the money. So I think you know, it had all of these, it was more than just getting the land. It was all about, you know, Rage Against the Machine kind of thing. Him wanting to live differently because of how bad everything was in the mainstream and all of that. And so he told me he was thinking of going back to Canberra and working for the government again and to get the money together to do this thing. And all I said to him was, oh, you want to become part of the problem again so you can be part of the solution. And it stopped him. And he stopped talking to me about it. Anyway, I saw him a few months later. And I said, oh, I thought you were going back to Canberra to work again. He said, I decided not to do it. I said, oh, why? Why did you decide not to do it? He said, I can't remember, he said, but you said something to me. I can't remember what it was. You said something to me that really changed my mind. Couldn't remember what I'd said, but, you know, I saved him from going and doing that same thing again. From being on that roller coaster in a way. Just planted the seed in his mind anyway. Or maybe, perhaps, he didn't get it, I don't know. But sometimes we can just like say little things like that. So, Divine Masculine, we've got the forest. Can't see the forest for the trees. Mental confusion. Just doesn't know what it's doing. It's acting without wisdom. The box. Okay, so the box is about labels that we've had, who we think we are, the boxes that we've put ourselves in, that others have put ourselves in, others have put us in, the who we think we are. So they're breaking free of the constraints kind of thing, but not quite yet. They're putting themselves back in the box of who they think they are. The unseen, but they're not seeing it clearly. It's the same energy as the forest. Can't see the forest for the trees, unseen. They're just not seeing it. They're not doing it consciously. Don't know what they're doing consciously. Yeah, they're going through a lesson. What else? Divine Masculine. Crone. Wisdom. With that crow as well, like they're getting the messages. They are getting the because the crows or raven or whatever it is, they're the ones that deliver the messages, right? So that they're getting the wisdom from somewhere. It doesn't have to be you. It feels to me like they've got like an advisor or something like that. Someone's going to tell them or advise them. The judge. Interesting. They judge themselves for it. You don't need to be the judge of them. They'll judge themselves for it. They'll figure it out. But yeah, they do have some advisor there, someone that is giving them a bit of that wisdom. Someone in their family or a friend or something like that. Okay, what about the Divine Feminine? Where's she at? What do we get for Divine Feminine? We always get that one with the starborn, the one with the egg on it. We get Alethea, all those, we get all of those ones, don't we? All of those cards, I can never remember what they mean. The River, yeah, we get this one as well, the emotional kind of stuff. She's flowing, she's going with the flow, especially emotionally as well. So, in other words, emotionally tempering herself, not as react, just going with it, learning to go with it. You see, we don't have to go after what it is that we want. The Empress doesn't do that. She knows what she deserves and what is hers, and she waits for it to come to her. So going with that flow of the emotions and tempering the emotions is like, we'll see. This seems to be happening, but we'll see. The Ring, commitment. Committed to a path, committed to a certain thing. That doesn't mean committed to somebody, but it could be being committed to Divine Masculine. I know one day Divine Masculine will show up. That energy that is Divine Masculine will show up in my life one day. I'm sure of it. I don't need to fall into the old lessons, do the old things. I know where that will go. I don't need to go grasping for this one that seems to be headed toward Divine Masculineness. But getting another lesson. Don't need to grasp at that. Just remaining committed to your path. I've had moments like that lately for myself. It's like it'll show up one day. It'll show up one day. And I'll recognize it for sure. I started following this fitness guy, scientist, goes into all the science of fitness and stuff. Because I've started trying to sort out the rear delt of my left arm, as well as my knee and my feet, my ankle. And he's got some really good videos, whatever he's called. Can't remember his name now. Anyway, kind of new to me, but another channel mentioned his name, and I have watched a couple of his videos before, but I went on his channel, subscribed to his channel, and started searching for stuff that I wanted to know about on his channel, because he is really good. I almost had his name then, but I can't remember. Anyway, sweet video about how he met his girlfriend, his partner, on his channel. So I'm like, this will be interesting. And he was single and struggling to find someone of his own caliber. So very intelligent, also very sporty, hot too, muscly, takes good care of himself, into all the science and everything, top caliber kind of guy. And he was having trouble finding someone of his caliber, and doing a podcast, and he said that he'd heard of her or had seen her mentioned or something like that, by someone else, I don't know. But I had never met her, and then he knew that she was a scientist doing a PhD or something like that, and he wanted to get more women on the podcast, women scientists, because it's all about the science of fitness. Wanted to get more women, so he wasn't thinking of like romance or anything like that. Wanted to get more women on the podcast, and her name had come up again. Oh no, that was it. He posted something on Instagram and she was following him. And she responded to it. And he said usually he wouldn't see the notifications on Instagram, but this time he did, because her name popped up. It actually came up in, I don't know how the Instagram, I don't have notifications turned on for anything anymore, but he must have seen her name, and it's like, oh, that's that PhD woman. He recognized her name because some friends of his had He'd heard of her before anyway. And so he looked, and he got in touch with her. He remembered, oh, she does a PhD. Yeah, she'd be really good for the podcast. So he got in touch with her saying, hey, do you want to come on my podcast about, science and fitness? And she said, well, I don't think it's a very good fit because I'm doing like cancer research. I'm not doing fitness research. And he said, well, I think we could work it somehow. Anyway, they ended up like in this conversation back and forth and decided not to do the podcast. She didn't think it was a good fit. She didn't think they could like make it into a good fit and all of that. But they'd gotten talking, chatting with each other anyway. She's in America, he's in Canada. And he was going to be where she was. He was coming to where, I don't know where she lives, but he was coming to where she was for business stuff. And he got in touch with her saying, hey, I'm going to be in the area. Why don't we meet up and have a chat? He went there. She'd had a car accident that morning or something like that, or the day before or something like that. But she still managed to make it so that she could meet up with them, and they were having a chat and, all about the science stuff. They ended up like collaborating, chatting more, but it was all business stuff, until, it was just like that, a progression. And then, long story, but it was like the same as what I said in the energy update today, in fact. Sometimes you just don't know where these things are going to lead. Well, they ended up getting together, and he said his advice for anyone that's single, that's looking for someone like of the same caliber as them, is just like, just keep on doing what you're doing and keep on reaching out to people, not for romance, but for, just keep on doing what you're passionate about, and you'll meet somebody in the end. It's true. I liked his story because it wasn't it's like you're not looking for romance and then you find it. You end up in the right room with the right people, right? So you can be committed to a path, Divine Feminines, rather than committed to somebody. Committed to finding that Divine Masculine, but not looking. Gnosis, and you'll know. These cards always come up. Gnosis. All about you at the moment, and it's got to be all about you. Just like that story said. He just stayed on track, right? He just stayed on track with what was true to him. And she's hot as well. Model too. PhD, and very good match. So it's got to be all about you at the moment. And the heart. And then what's in your heart. So don't get bitter, disappointed and all of that kind of stuff. Keep your heart open and just keep on following that path. Because as I said in the energy update today, sometimes we just don't know. I told the story of back when I was with Jared, still in a relationship, and I got this message. I can't remember how it came to me, but I got this message over and over again to go to this particular place on a Friday night, I think it was. Friday night, go to this place. And I'd said to Jared, should we go to that place? But we never did. We weren't much for going out. We were homebodies, me and him. Anyway, we broke up. And then it was after that I went to that place on a Friday night. And that's where I met my next partner. So the universe had it lined up like 6 months before I was even out of a relationship than my next partner. Sometimes you just got to follow these things. And I didn't think that was, of course, I was going to take my current boyfriend there. I didn't think it was about finding a new partner. It was just guidance, just following the guidance. So there you go. I've rambled enough. Stick with this and trust yourself in this process, and trust them too. It might be that this person isn't your person, and that they don't level up and they don't become that Divine Masculine in time for you. But if you just keep on following your guidance, someone will come eventually. And probably all the quicker if we stop getting hung up on these ones that aren't it yet. That aren't there yet. That aren't the divine masculine yet. They're still doing very undivine kind of things. So that's what I've got for you. Thanks everyone for coming along. And no mini reads today. But I'll be doing a pick a card read later on. I'm putting it out on my YouTube channel later. So check that one out. That's going to be how do they feel about you. So check that one out. Don't forget to click like on my videos, especially this one. And leave all your comments and stuff like that. That really helps. And that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Let's do this all over again on Monday. Next week, there will only be 2 shows, Monday and Wednesday. There won't be one on Friday because I've got to go to the dentist again to check how this new tooth is doing. Seems to be doing pretty good to me. So get a bit of a holiday on the other island. Ooh, headache. So have a good one, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Monday. Bye.